Here is a psychological fact that civilized society is terrified to admit, and one that you are likely not ready to hear. If you are not capable of violence, you are not peaceful. You are not virtuous. You are simply harmless. And in the unforgiving eyes of nature, harmless implies only one thing: you are prey. Most men walk through life believing that their lack of aggression makes them morally superior. They look at the wolves of the world, the tyrants, the criminals, the dominators, and they tell themselves, "I am good because I am not like them." But there is a fundamental error in this logic. A rabbit is not virtuous because it does not eat the wolf. A rabbit is virtuous simply because it cannot eat the wolf. That is not morality. That is incompetence. True morality is having the capacity to be a monster, to have the claws and the teeth to tear the world apart, and then voluntarily choosing not to do so. That is what it means to be a peaceful man. Everything else is just cowardice wrapped in a mask of politeness. Psychologists call this phenomenon the paradox of meekness. You have been lied to your entire life. From the moment you entered the school system, you were conditioned to sit still, to be quiet, to raise your hand for permission to speak, and to suppress every natural instinct of dominance and aggression that boiled within your blood. You were told that anger is inherently toxic. You were told that conflict is a failure of intelligence. But when you realize what this systemic conditioning has actually done to your mind, you will understand why your kindness feels less like a gift and more like a heavy iron chain around your neck. Your social anxiety, your paralyzing fear of confrontation, your inability to look another man in the eye and say, "No," all of this is shaped by one single devastating psychological pattern. You have castrated your own soul to fit into a box that was built to keep you weak. But here is where the situation gets much worse. You think that by burying your inner monster, by locking your shadow in the basement of your subconscious, you are making the world a safer place. You are wrong. You are actually becoming more dangerous, but not to the people who deserve it. You are becoming dangerous to yourself and to the people who love you. Let's look at the hard truth that no one wants to discuss. Weakness is not a virtue. There is an ancient proverb, often attributed to martial philosophies, that says, "It is better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war." Right now, look at your life. You are a gardener. You tend to your small patch of comfort. You avoid risks. You smile when you are insulted. But you have forgotten that outside your fence there is a war going on. There is a war for resources, a war for status, a war for the future of your bloodline. Psychology dictates a brutal law. A man who has no teeth cannot be moral. If you behave nicely only because you have no other choice, that is not morality. That is merely a survival strategy for the weak. Your peaceful behavior is not a choice made from a position of power. It is a reaction driven by fear. And fear never commands respect. It does not command respect from your boss. It does not command respect from women, not from your enemies, and most importantly, it does not command respect from the man in the mirror. This explains exactly why your life feels stagnant. It explains that constant, low-level background noise of exhaustion that you feel even after a full night of sleep. You aren't tired because you work too hard. You aren't tired because of physical exertion. You are tired because you are spending 90% of your mental energy holding the door shut on your own nature. You are fighting a civil war inside your own head, constantly policing your own thoughts, suppressing your own drive, apologizing for your own existence. That is a metabolic disaster. Let's dissect this through the lens of evolutionary psychology. Your brain is a survival machine that is 200,000 years old. It was not designed for sitting in cubicles under fluorescent lights, writing polite emails to people you despise. It was designed for the hunt. It was designed for protecting territory. It was designed for dominance hierarchies. Aggression in its purest biological form is not evil. Aggression is fuel. It is the psychobiological drive that pushes you to conquer resistance. It is the same energy that gets you out of bed when it is cold. It is the energy that pushes you to finish the last rep in the gym when your muscles are screaming. It is the energy that allows a father to stand in the doorway and protect his children when danger knocks. Without this aggressive drive, you are inert. You are dead while still breathing. When you repress this energy, when you label it toxic and shove it down into the dark corners of your psyche, it doesn't disappear. Energy in the universe never disappears. It only transforms. And inside the human psyche, repressed aggression transforms into something poisonous. It rots. It turns into resentment. Carl Jung, the father of analytical psychology, warned us explicitly, "What you resist persists." The man who does not integrate his capacity for violence does not become a saint. He becomes passive-aggressive. He becomes the snake. He becomes the man who smiles to your face, but sabotages you behind your back. He becomes manipulative because he lacks the courage to be direct. He creates a twisted, sneaky, dishonest version of violence because he is too afraid to show the real thing. This is the archetype of the nice guy who eventually snaps and commits the unthinkable. He is a pressure cooker with the valve welded shut. Consider the dynamics of attraction and relationships. Women, biologically and evolutionarily, are not attracted to harmless men. They may say they want a nice man, but watch who they respect. They respect competence. They respect the capacity for protection. A harmless man cannot protect anyone. He cannot even protect himself. If a threat enters your life, and you have trained yourself to be a pacifist victim, you are useless to your family. You are a liability. To be a protector, you must be dangerous. You must be capable of meeting force with greater force. This is the dark truth of mating strategies. Safety is sexy. But safety can only be provided by a monster who has his monster under control. Jordan Peterson articulated this concept perfectly when he said, "You should be a monster, an absolute monster, and then you should learn how to control it." Why did he use such harsh language? Because life is a tragedy laced with malevolence. The world is not a nursery. Sooner or later, tragedy will come for you. Illness will strike. Betrayal will happen. Economic crisis will hit. Conflict is inevitable. If you are harmless, if you are fragile, when that storm hits, you will break. You will be crushed by the weight of existence. To withstand the pressure of suffering, you need a spine of steel. You need a hardness of character. And that hardness is forged from controlled aggression. If this triggered you, good. That means the armor of your fake persona is cracking. That means you needed to hear this. Here is the truth you have avoided looking in the eye for years. You are not good. You are weak. And you are using your morality as a convenient mask to hide your inability to be dangerous. You tell yourself you are a pacifist because you are too terrified to be a warrior. Stop lying to yourself. So, how do we fix this? How do you stop being a victim of your own biology? How do you integrate the shadow without becoming a criminal or a tyrant? How do you become dangerous but controlled? We need a protocol. We need to retrain your nervous system. Step 1 is physical competence. You must know, viscerally, what your body is capable of. You cannot intellectualize violence. You must feel it. Go to the gym. But more importantly, sign up for a combat sport. Boxing, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling. You need to be punched in the face. You need to feel the crushing weight of another man trying to dominate you. Why? Not so you can hurt people on the street, but so you can feel what conflict really is. You need to inoculate yourself against the adrenaline dump. When you know you possess the physical capacity to cause damage, something shifts in your eyes. You don't walk around with a chip on your shoulder. You don't need to prove anything. Your confidence becomes quiet. It becomes calm. It becomes real. A man who knows he can kill is often the most polite man in the room because he has nothing to fear. Step 2 is installing your teeth. You need to learn the art of verbal aggression. This starts with the word no. No is a complete sentence. No is an act of aggression. It is a boundary. It is a small war you fight to protect your territory, your time, and your values. If you cannot say no, your yes is worthless. Start small. Refuse a request that inconveniences you. Do not apologize. Do not offer a long, winding explanation to soften the blow. Just say it. Look people in the eye when you defy them. Don't smile nervously to diffuse the tension. Withstand the tension. Sit in the awkward silence. That tension is power. That tension is where respect is born. Step 3 is channeling the rage. Look at your life. Are you angry at your financial situation? Are you angry at your physique? Are you angry at how you've been treated? Good. Do not meditate that anger away. Do not suppress it. Use it. Aggression is the highest octane fuel for productivity and ambition. Turn your rage into discipline. The reason you are lazy is that you are too comfortable. You aren't angry enough. You should be insulted by your own mediocrity. Work when others sleep. Learn when others play. Be ruthless with your laziness. Be aggressive with your goals. Attack your problems with the same ferocity a wolf attacks a deer. Stop trying to manifest success and start hunting for it. The world does not need more weak men. We have enough of them. The world is on fire. Civilization is fragile. The world needs men who can put out the fire, or start one if it is absolutely necessary to protect what they love. You were given a sword at birth, your aggression, your drive, your masculinity. Stop pretending it's a spoon. Stop apologizing for it. Sharpen it, polish it, keep it in its sheath, locked down by your discipline and your virtue. But keep your hand on the hilt.
ready to draw it at a moment's notice. If you are ready to stop being prey and become a predator who voluntarily chooses peace, then you know what to do. Subscribe. Join the order. We are just getting started. Can still go.